Paddington Goes to School is so delightful. I really thoroughly enjoyed this, though it did take me a little bit of time to get used to the different animation styles, which I'll talk about in a moment. But after maybe the first 5 minutes, it really hooked me in, and I thought it was really good fun. This was released originally in 1986, directed by Martin Pullen, written by Michael Bond, with voices, narration as well, provided by Michael Horndern. And it turns out that Paddington Bear has to go to school. And what threw me is that he's actually referred to as Paddington Brown at school, which makes perfect sense, of course, but every time a character called him Paddington Brown, it kind of, shook me for a second. But he goes to school and he causes a bit of trouble, not intentionally, but he makes things very difficult for the teacher. For example, and this is the only specific thing I'll mention, I won't mention else in any detail, I don't want to spoil it, but he points out that the teacher said they were going to learn the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. And Paddington Bear points out only one of those begins with R. Obviously, it's reading, writing, arithmetic. But he's right. Only one begins with R. And there are various other things throughout this where he's correct about things, or he's got a very, clever way of looking at things, but it definitely shows the teacher up. And the children laugh a lot, and that laughter is so infectious. And how it ended, I won't say, but it amused me, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so sweet, and Paddington Bear was just so charming and so delightful. The narrative is a pleasure, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish, to the point where I got to the end and thought, why are you only 25 minutes? Why are you not a feature film? I would have happily watched more of it. It's really great fun. The animation style, as I said, took me a little while to get used to it. Now, I don't know if every Paddington Bear film is like this, because I didn't watch Paddington Bear that much growing up. This is despite me having Paddington Bear books, a Paddington Bear bedspread, like a really thick winter blanket, and a Paddington Bear teddy. But I have no recollection of actually watching Paddington. I assume I did, but I didn't remember it. So this could be just the approach they take with Paddington Bear, but for me, this was the first time I experienced the blend of traditional cartoon animation and stop motion. And Paddington Bear and a lot of the, for example, the school desks are physical objects and are used with stop motion animation, but I think every other character is in traditional cartoon style, and a lot of the backgrounds are as well. And it took me a good 5 minutes to get used to going back and forth between the two, but after about that time, I actually began to really enjoy it, and I thought the blend worked very well and everything was very well edited. So if you do start watching it and you have the same response to me as me to that, stick with it. It shouldn't take you too long to get used to it, hopefully. But I really enjoyed it after that. It was funny, it was charming. The recorder I loved. I used to play recorder for quite a few years, so that I thought was very relatable. No chunks of marmalade in my recorder either. Definitely a really delightful short film. Funny, cleverly done, beautifully narrated, very clear narration that's easy to follow and easy to listen to. I absolutely adored it.